you know, on our world today, in our country, we've got so many different things going on. People are fractured. The whole political system is fractured and so on. If you were president, what are a couple of things that you would change to help kind of maybe get our world a little bit more centered or functioning a little bit better and people doing better with each other?
All right, I'll give you two. One of them was more idealistic. So with taxes, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a person who would not agree that people pay too much in tax. Or at least I don't know any person who says, hey, I want to pay more in taxes. Nobody I know says that. I don't think you knew anyone that says that. So I would say, like, there's this idea I've heard thrown out some years back. It's called a head tax. In essence, what it means is that everybody pays the same amount of tax, no matter what you make, where you live. It's all based on your age at a particular time. So everyone who's age 25 would pay this amount. And the way I've heard it described, I've heard it described by a few people. I don't know who originated the idea, so I don't want to name someone's name and take away credit from who actually came up with the idea. But ideally, everybody below the age of like 24 or 25 wouldn't be responsible for any income tax. There'd still be other taxes like consumption tax, which makes sense. So like you're buying things at a grocery store, there's sales tax. That's a useful way of generating money. But we give people a reprieve under a certain age, like 25. It makes sense because by then you would have had time to hopefully either graduate college or vocational school or graduate school. And you know that those early 20 times you're probably dealing with education. So those people will be absolved from taxes, but everybody else would be a scale based on your age. So at 25, let's say you pay, I'm just throwing out a number here, you pay $8,000 a year in income tax, no matter what you make. 35, you pay a different age. 45, and every age until like whatever we decide, maybe we stop charging people tax at age 65. Everyone pay the same. And that, from an equity standpoint, well, people are getting in debates like, well, this person makes 200,000. Why should they pay the same as someone who makes 30,000? Like, you can have those debates. This is why this is more of a pie idea. But it makes sense from a, like, people don't feel like they're paying too much relative to other people, or you have something that's fair. Although, like, you'd still have systems of deductions, and this is why it's like one of those ideas that's probably never going to happen. There would be just too many people on one side or the other that would kill the idea if it could roll out. But I think there's merit to it from an equity standpoint. But that's just me thinking. That's one thing. And this is something, if I was president, another idea that I actually wholeheartedly support is finding ways to encourage more free speech and free expression. Not freedom of consequences. I think a lot of people confuse that. They think that because you have the ability to say or do what you want, that means that those actions have no consequences. Like, no, if you say or do something people find objectionable, you might have to pay a penalty for that. And plus, that's an accountability thing too. Like, if you do something to wrong other people, there's no reason why people shouldn't be able to respond to you. But I would encourage a system where, like, right now, we have a lot of political ideologies that are aimed at stopping people from speaking, whether it's identity politics, or if you're born this way or born that way, that means you can't say anything, or if you don't believe this socially fashionable idea, you have to be silenced. I don't like that. I think people should be free to express their thoughts, and that's how the world becomes a better place, is through that sort of expression. So I would encourage systems that encourage that, as well as discourage people who are tempted to silence others that don't agree with them. That's something I would do if I were president. I think it makes for a better America.